Now, finances is a part of it. We talked about that. That's not so difficult in today's economic situation. The lending institutions are in a bit of a dilemma right now. There's a lot of money to be put into work by lending it, and the areas to lend it to have sort of had some problems recently, haven't they? How's the real estate market? Okay. How's the equity, the private equity business? Bear Stearns and some of these investment companies that are looking at larger deals are having difficulty and have pulled back. Small to medium-sized businesses is a great place for businesses such as your local bank or credit unions are now looking at very seriously at providing funding for you to actually bridge the financing part. Of course, we talked about the frustration of the whole thing. The money you invest in a franchise will be a way to diversify your portfolio from reactive investments. How many of you are going to use some investments you have, such as your retirement, your stocks, your bonds, as part of the investment in a business if you go into it? Okay. Those funds that are invested currently, how much impact do you have, or how much say do you have whether they go up in value or go down in value? Zero. It's called a reactive investment vehicle. Isn't it amazing the majority of our society just puts all of our wealth out there and all of our savings for other people to manage for us and hope and wish and pray that it goes up? Well, how's that working for us in the stock and bond market lately? Some of you might be doing well, some of you may not have done so well. The key to investing in a business is taking part of your reactive investments and shifting them to a proactive investment vehicle where you're behind it. Now you have a direct impact on how well that investment does. How many of you work very, very hard for someone else today for a paycheck? How hard do you think you'll work for yourself with your own money invested? Be a lot easier, right? You won't have to work as hard, right? Of course you're going to work hard. You're already working hard to create wealth and equity for your boss and that company and those stockholders. You're going to work just as hard, if not more so, for yourself. So the key is be open to diversifying some of your investments from reactive into proactive investment vehicles, such as a franchise or a business, and get behind that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. If you look at the average return on the stock market over the last 10 years, and you blend that together, and you look at the average return on investment that a person investing into a franchise has over a 10-year period that builds income and lifestyle for them and wealth and equity, it's far better, far greater. In fact, if you look at just the franchise companies that are traded publicly and what they've done over the last 10 years compared to the rest of the stock market, there's about a 300% difference with the franchise companies as far as that investment vehicle. So reactive investments are okay, but a portion of it needs to be proactive. You need to take responsibility. We need to take back the responsibility for developing wealth and equity for ourselves. Do you think there's the opportunity to build wealth and equity in the job market today? Do you think it's going to come back? Not likely. Okay, that ship has sailed. Time has come for us to look at things differently. Now, it seems like you might be looking at taking a headlong plunge into the unknown as you ponder the idea of just putting your savings on the line, borrowing some money, signing a franchise agreement for, how long does a franchise agreement for? Anybody know? 10 years minimum for most, some longer. That's a big commitment, isn't it? So it seems like this big headlong plunge into the unknown. But there's a lot of safety associated with the entire realm of franchising. How many of you know what regulates franchise offerings in the U.S.? Right. It's the Federal Trade Commission. Regulates all franchise offerings through what used to be called the UFOC. By the way, they changed that this year. It's now called the FDD, the Franchise Disclosure Document. Real simple, straightforward. That's exactly what it should be called. But they regulate what franchisors have to provide you in the way of information. And they regulate the types of things that need to be in that document so you have the ability to become very well informed and educated. You also have the ability to talk to dozens of people who have already invested in that franchise or out there operating those businesses. Get an opportunity to see what kind of lifestyle they've developed for themselves, how their income is, whether they would do it over again or not. Okay, whether it really was, were they as nervous and as scared as you are when they started? And what you'll find out is yes, they were. Everybody goes through it. Some of you are thinking, I'm just so nervous and scared and uncertain that I'm probably not right for franchise or business ownership. These other people that do that, they're risk takers. They're entrepreneurs. They don't have those fears and concerns like I do. What you need to find out is that's not the case. Everybody has it. It's what we call the sweaty palm syndrome. You're going to have it. You're going to have to bite the bullet and move beyond that after you've done the proper amount of research and understanding about a franchise opportunity. As I mentioned, we've helped tens of thousands of people become self-sufficient and accomplish their dream of being in their own businesses over the past 24 years. Interestingly, though, 95% of them ended up in a franchise or a business that they admittedly would have never looked at on their own or had already looked at it and said no. 95%. It's not about walking up and down the aisle or going through the paper or the book of franchises and saying yes, no, maybe. That approach will lead you to the potential of buying yourself a job, which is not what a business is designed to do. You don't want to buy yourself a job. It's not what it's designed to do in a business. You want to use a business as a vehicle to accomplish things for you, not buy yourself a job. Many of you, when you're looking for a business and a franchise, you're asking yourself, what am I going to do? So you look at the product or service, and I look at an automatic transmission franchise, and I say, no way. I don't even know where the transmission in my car is, nor do I care. And I'm certainly not going to get my hands dirty. Okay? It's not going to happen. So in my mind, transmission business is out, right? There'd be no way I'd be a good franchisee. Okay? Not true. In franchising, they don't want you to be the technician. In fact, the mechanic that knows how to fix the transmission would be better off investing in a Dunkin' Donuts franchise, and the baker who knows how to bake donuts would be better off owning an automatic transmission franchise. 95 to 97% of the people who own franchises don't have a background, experience, or knowledge of the product or service that's being provided in that franchise. So it's not about your comfort, it's not about your experience, it's about the business of being in business. That's the way you want to approach it.